Well, Happy New Year, I guess. First things first, I don't have a camera. I don't. I don't know why my camera died on me. I don't know why I have this kind of problem. It just kind of quit when. Okay, here's long story short. I had uh I had left my computer on the table to go into the kitchen to get something to drink. And when I came back, by the time I had come back, somebody else had managed to spill something into my keyboard. We had to take the computer apart to dry it out. Well, long story short, when we put it back together, the camera wasn't working. So I got to figure out what happened there. But yeah, I'm really not happy about that. So yay. But I digress. I wanted to talk about this. This is something that I really didn't think I was going to have to talk about too. Um, so we all know the new Dragon Ball Z movie is coming out for Cuts and No App. We know what it's about. We know that it takes place after Battle of Gods. We know it's canon. We know Toriyama's writing it completely himself. We know he actually showed his work to his first editor, who was also, according to him, fairly harsh on him. And even he said that what he's done is pretty good so far. Toriyama still wanted his comedy, but he also knows the fans want action, so he included more action scenes, and so on and so forth. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, Battle of Gods did have some problems, and, well, a lot of people like to blame Toriyama for that, but they forget Toriyama, while he did come in to consult on the movie, did not write all the details. He did not have complete control over the film, and the actual writer of the film, well, let's just say there's a scene in that movie that is such well, frankly, an asshole, and such blatant character wanking and fan pandering that there are even some fans of that certain character that said that that was ridiculous. But well, the whole Vegeta thing, and that. But see, you also have his fanboys like say, no, he trained for blood. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not. I'm not gonna get into the fact that that still can't increase his strength 150 fold. I mean, by that logic, he would have had to have been at a base level so much stronger than Goku. He could have flicked a finger and killed him. That's how ridiculous that was. But I digress. It's one of those things where it gets to the point of ridiculousness, and you find out that the guy who wrote it did say, like right before the movie came out, in an interview, that he believed that Dragon Ball was secretly about Vegeta. He was the secret protagonist. He was the one that everyone focused on by the end. Nobody really, it's like everything else was there and it was okay, but then he's like, "Oh my, Vegeta, how you grown?" It's like he he used that tone too. That's the creepy part. But so yeah, it's a major Vegeta fanboy wrote that movie, and that's where a lot of the problems come in. It became less about, and it really felt no different than the other Dragon Ball Z movies. And I think that's kind of the problem. It did have some of the humor back, which was really nice, and it did kind of try to go back to the original Dragon Ball spirit and everything. It's just that in the end, there was still way too much of the not paying attention to detail, putting a lot more focus on certain characters. I mean, when they were advertising this and everything, they were making it seem like everybody was going to play a part and whatnot, and then all of a sudden you find out that, oh yeah, everybody's going to play a part. It's just as a background character that has like three lines. That's all. And it went back to the exact same formula of the other movies. Anyone not named Goku and Vegeta pretty much gets wrecked outright. So, um, but then this movie's coming out, and really, so far, I've heard nothing but good things about it. I haven't really heard enough to talk about it yet, which is why I didn't think I'd have to. But now I have to because something so small and tiny and insignificant, even, has gotten so much attention from people. And it's ridiculous. It really is. I should not have to talk about this. This should not be a big deal. It should not. Let me get that out of the way right now. And the fact that this is a big deal is really freaking ridiculous. And really, it's got me on. This is about the final straw between the fandom and me. I mean, really, this is. It's pathetic. Wait for it. You ready? Here we go. Toriyama revealed the designs for the Z Fighters. Now, keep in mind, this is supposed to be when they're in a peaceful period. Thomas Preston's Battle of Gods. Um, everyone's trying to get on with their lives. Gohan's, become a full-time scholar, as evidenced by his appearance. Um, and it's just. Sorry, I had to take a drink of something real quick. It's just one of those things where it's like, we're getting some aggression. We're seeing what they do when they're not fighting. This is cool, actually, because we really don't get a whole lot about these characters when they're not, having to combat or fight. Most we got was when Gohan went to school. So it's nice, really. I figured. And then they revealed that something's up with Krillin. It leaks from all these different sources. Something's up with him. He's got a job. They're gonna show what it is. And then, lo and behold, they reveal it, and people have a cow. Now, here's the thing. They revealed that Krillin is now a police officer. He's a cop. He became a cop. Has like a sort of motorcycle kind of hover thing. He's an officer. He. I mean, it is what it is. But this, for some reason, made this fandom go so freaking ballistic, because apparently, for some reason, he can't be a cop. He can't be a cop. He shouldn't be a cop. Being a cop means that he's finally resignated himself to nothingness for some reason. It makes him more of a joke because his wife obviously had to scream at him and force him to get a job, and he's too much of a bitch to stand up to her. I actually read that in the comment. It's ridiculous. I mean, it got really stoked, and it's like, first of all, how is that nothingness? He is using the fact that he has these powers to do something to help people. Well, if he's got these powers, why does he need advice? So he's not freaking everybody the hell out. I mean, in case you didn't notice, everybody kind of laid low after the Cell games because they didn't want attention and they didn't want to be recognized. I'm fairly certain that they probably don't want to draw attention to themselves. They like the opportunity to actually live life. Now, when it comes to Krillin, Krillin's a family man, and according to Akira Toriyama, he and his family have the most normal family life out of anyone in the series. The most normal relationship, the most normal husband wife relationship, the most normal parent child relationship. They're a happy family. So this notion that she's somehow always henpecking him and screaming at him and threatening him and everything, I'm not sure what it stems from. I think it stems from that dub, because she took a threatening tone to get him to enter that tournament, even though in the original Japanese version, her tone was actually no way threatening, but rather really excited and really wanted him to join. So, I don't know. That dub did a lot more damage than a lot of people like to give it credit for. But anyway, but this notion that somehow this has destroyed Dragon Ball Z. Toriyama doesn't know what he's doing. It's why? What does Krillin being a police officer have to do with anything? Why does that prove that this series is now dead? Because he's fleshing out his characters more? So because he's giving them a bit more depth, showing how they're living their life now, that is somehow ruining them? How? I mean that seriously. How? What did you think they did? Just sat around all day and did nothing and waited for the next crisis? I mean, no, they have lives. In his case, he has a family now. He's got to support them somehow. I mean, Goku's family came from, I mean, Goku won that world tournament, so there was a hefty cash prize right there. His father-in-law is rich. Chi-Chi's dad is rich. Okay, he's a king. She's a princess. They are not necessarily wanting for money. So he can sit there and train and do whatnot. And really, that's about all he can do simply because he has no practical skills, because he has no real formal education. He got basic education training with Roshi. That was it. Anything beyond that, he doesn't really know how to do. He never got taught how to do it. And really, he has been busy his whole life, one crisis after another, preparing for it. I mean, there weren't really big old gaps of peace until right before Raditz showed up. And a lot of times they wind up having to take the time to prepare for it. And this is the other reason I don't understand why this is such a big deal. Do you know how many people I've heard say that they wonder what happened during that 3 years of training for the androids? What was everyone doing? That that 7 years between Cell and Boo. I've seen so many people speculate what happened there. Wonder what happened there. I mean, we have people getting married, we have babies being born, we have all this stuff happening between then and there. 7 years worth of stuff we knew nothing about, and people were always curious and they wanted to know. There was theories, there was speculation. A lot of people said, "Oh, maybe it was this, maybe it was that," but we had nothing concrete. Now we're finally getting something concrete. We're finally getting in a position where we know what these people have been doing all these years, and people are complaining to the point where they're actually saying that this is the last straw in this series, this franchise is now forever ruined because of something they complained about not having before. I don't get this. And I mean, I seriously doubt this is even going to play a huge plot point. Everyone's like, well, how is him being a cop supposed to help with it? How is it going to hurt the movie? I mean, you act like there's going to be like a huge chunk of the movie focused on Krillin being a cop and writing traffic tickets, and no. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not going to factor in much at all. It's just an interesting little factoid that got released along with his movie design. And no, those are not the final designs. That's not 100% how they're going to look in the movie. It's not even 100% how Toriyama would draw them if he was trying to draw them 100% seriously for a serialized series again. It's a sketch. It's a design sketch. It's showing people how they're going to look. And for all the people complaining about how scrawny he looks, go read the manga. Go look at Krillin in the manga. Go look at all of them in the manga. Even the more muscular guys look at most toned. They don't have these bulging biceps rippling all over, looking like they're flexing even when their arms are at rest. They don't have that in the manga. They have defined muscles, yeah, but they weren't bulky. The only time Goku ever really went bulky, I believe, was when he was using the Kaioken, and that was because it put such a huge strain on his body that, yeah, his muscles are gonna bunch up because it's like he's constantly strained. Um, but Krillin never really was, buff as all hell either. So I don't know where that comes from, but it's there and people are complaining about it. I'm just failing to see how this is any kind of an issue or why people are so stuck on this. I mean, why is this something that ruins the franchise with Gohan running around in a weird ass helmet doing these friggin' Sentai poses and everything? That was perfectly acceptable and believable and understandable, and in fact people loved that and laugh at it and make jokes about it to this day, but Krillin being a cop is apparently the epitome of ridiculousness. I'm just so done. I mean, if this was any other character, no matter how ridiculous a degree of whatever it was that they were doing, I'm pretty sure that they'd be fine with it. I don't get why this is such a big deal for people. Is it just because it's Krillin? Are we looking for a reason to say that he ruined the movie? I don't know. I know that there is a lot of unnatural, frankly, ridiculous amounts of hatred. I know that for a fact, but I don't get it. Maybe somebody can try to enlighten me. Though I don't see how you can possibly have a good excuse for being mad about this. I really don't. At any rate, that's really all I have to say about it. It's just this fandom is getting more and more and more ridiculous as time goes by. That's really all I can say. At any rate, that's it for tonight. Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully, 2015 will be full of less stupidity, but um, well, based on this, I kind of doubt that. At any rate, see ya.